The family video call started, and everyone was on the screen. Mom, Dad, my sister Isolde, and our brother Kalen were all there. Isolde kept moving her hands while talking, and the diamond on her engagement ring kept shining whenever it caught the light. "We need to talk about the guest list for the engagement party," Isolde said excitedly. I was sitting at my desk while listening. My laptop was open, and I was still looking at some work reports. "Okay," I said calmly. Isolde continued. "Caius's family is very traditional. His father is a senior executive at a technology company. He's very successful and knows a lot of important people." She looked at Mom, and Mom nodded in agreement. "They are bringing some business associates to the party," Isolde said. "So the party will also be like a networking event." "That sounds fancy," I said. "It is fancy," Isolde replied. "And that is why. Selara, we think it would be better if you don't come." I slowly looked up from my laptop. "Excuse me?" I asked. Before Isolde could answer, Kalen started talking. "You work at a coffee shop," he said. "Caius's dad is bringing vice presidents and directors. Isolde doesn't want you to say something that might make our family look bad." "Like what?" I asked. Kalen shrugged. "Like talking about your job, or your apartment, or your car." Isolde spoke again, and her voice sounded very serious. "These people have high standards," she said. "They judge people very quickly. I can't risk you embarrassing us." Mom tried to speak gently. "Honey, you understand, right?" she said softly. "This is Isolde's special moment. Her future in-laws need to see that she comes from a successful family." "So I ruined that picture?" I asked quietly. Dad spoke next, and he was very direct. "You make minimum wage making coffee," he said. I slowly placed my pen down on my desk. "I see," I said quietly. Isolde continued explaining her plan. "We'll just tell everyone that you are sick," she said. "Maybe food poisoning." She gave a small smile. "You can still come to the wedding later, of course. That will just be family, so there will be less pressure." "How generous," I said. Kalen rolled his eyes. "Don't act like that," he said. "Some of us worked really hard to get where we are." Isolde's voice became sharper. "Some of us didn't drop out of college just to find ourselves while making lattes," she said. "This is important for my future," Isolde continued. "Stop being selfish." Kalen nodded quickly. "Caius will probably become a vice president by the time he's 30, he said. "His family has connections we all need. We have to show our best side." "And I'm not the best side?" I asked. Dad shook his head. "You are 28 years old working a job that teenagers do," he said. "So no, Selara, you're not." Mom looked uncomfortable, but she still spoke. "We love you, sweetie," she said. "This isn't personal. It's just strategic." I looked at each face on the screen. They all looked serious. It was clear they had already made their decision. "Okay," I said quietly. "I won't come." Isolde looked very relieved. "Thank you," she said. "I knew you would understand. We'll have dinner together later when everything calms down," Mom added. "Sure," I said. "Congratulations, Isolde." The call ended. I sat quietly in my home office, staring at my computer screen. The report I had been working on was still open. It was the performance review for Darian Alder. Darian Alder was the Senior Vice President of Product Development. He was also Caius Alder's father. Caius Alder was the man my sister was about to marry. I picked up my phone and called my assistant. "Nimue," I said. "Please pull Darian Alder's complete file. I also want the employment records for his son, Caius Alder, who works in the sales department." "Right away, Miss Vera," Nimue replied. "Also schedule Darian Alder's quarterly review," I added. "Yes, Miss Vera." After the call, I opened the company directory on my computer and searched for Caius Alder. Sales Associate Level 2. I was hired 8 months ago. Performance rating, average. There was also a note in his file. Recommended for promotion to Senior Sales Associate. But the promotion had not been approved yet. I opened the promotion approval page. Caius's file was sitting there, waiting. It needed approval from an executive. My approval. I typed a short note. Promotion approval delayed. Waiting for department restructuring review. Hold until Q3 evaluation. Then I opened Darian Alder's file. There were several warnings inside. 3 departments had reported problems. Missed deadlines. Projects going over budget. Complaints from team members. None of the problems were serious enough to fire him immediately. But they were serious enough to require attention. I started writing questions for his upcoming review meeting. Saturday arrived. It was the day of Isolde's engagement party. I spent the whole day at my coffee shop. It was my downtown Seattle location, which I had opened 3 years ago. While I was there, my phone buzzed. It was a message from Mom. Sorry you're sick. The party was beautiful. Caius's family is very nice. I typed back. Hope you're having fun. Then another message came. This time it was from Isolde. Caius's dad is so impressive. He runs product development at a big tech company. He is making amazing connections tonight. I stared at the message for a moment. Isolde was proudly telling me about my own employee. Darian Alder worked for me. He worked at Fortune Technologies, the company I started 9 years ago. The company my family didn't know about, because they had never asked. I simply replied, That's wonderful. My shop manager, Lyra, was what vairag me from across the counter. You have that smile, she said. What smile? I asked. The planning smile, Lyra said with a grin. What are you planning? Nothing, I replied calmly. I'm just letting things happen naturally. Monday morning arrived. Darian Alder walked into my office for his quarterly review. He looked nervous. He did not recognize me. Of course he didn't. We had never met face to face before. Darian, thank you for coming, I said. I like to personally conduct reviews for senior vice presidents. I pointed to the chair. Please sit. Let's talk about the Q2 product launch, I continued. It was 3 weeks late and went 40% over budget. What happened? Darian shifted in his chair. There were unexpected technical challenges, he said. Your team reported those problems 6 weeks before the deadline, I replied. But no mitigation plan was made. Why? I believed we could handle it as we went, he said. Instead, I said calmly, the problems became worse and caused delays across 3 departments. I picked up another document. I also received complaints from 7 members of your team, I said. They say you have communication issues. Darian's face turned red. I have been dealing with personal matters, he said. We all have personal lives, I replied. But when those issues affect the entire department, we must discuss whether you are still the right person for this role. I closed the file. I am placing you on a performance improvement plan. A PP, he asked nervously. Yes, I said. You will have 90 days to improve your performance, with weekly check-ins with HR. He looked very worried. I have a family, he said quietly. My son just got engaged. Congratulations, I said politely. HR will send you the documents today, I added. Please read them carefully. Darian left my office looking shaken. Then I picked up my phone again. Zara, connect me with the head of sales. A moment later Tavian answered. Tavian, I said, tell me about Caius Alder's promotion recommendation. Tavian sighed. Caius is a decent employee, he said. He shows up and does his work. But nothing extraordinary. Leadership potential? I asked. Honestly, Tavian said, people treat him nicely because his father is a senior VP. He's coasting on that reputation. So he hasn't earned the promotion? I asked. Not really, Tavian admitted. Then hold the promotion, I said. Review it again in Q4 if his performance improves. You got it, boss, Tavian replied. After the call, I looked at the photos on my office wall. One photo showed my first coffee shop. Another showed the opening day of my second location. Behind them were 2 other important papers. My college dropout paperwork. And the very first pitch deck for Vera Technologies. The company now had 400 employees. It earned $63 million in revenue each year. But my family only saw the coffee shop. So they believed that was my entire life. They never asked questions. They never wondered about my Tesla car. They never wondered how I could afford my downtown condo. They thought my barista competitions were just coffee events. But they were actually technology conferences. My phone buzzed again. It was Isolde. Caius's dad got put on a performance plan, she wrote. He's freaking out. This is so stressful. I typed back. That's terrible. I hope everything works out. Then another message appeared. Caius says if his dad gets fired it could affect his job too. They work at the same company. I replied. What company? Isolde answered. Some tech company called Vera Technologies. Never heard of it. It's probably small. Vera Technologies. My company. The company is named after me. And my own sister had never even heard of it. Darian opened his mouth to speak, but no sound came out. He just stood there looking shocked. I spoke calmly. Here is what will happen. You will finish your PP and try your best. If you do your work well and improve, you will keep your job. If you fail, then you will lose your job. Caius will stay in his current position. He will not get any special treatment. And neither of you will talk about this conversation to anyone, not even Isolde. Our confidentiality agreement means this must stay a secret. He looked worried and asked quietly, "And what if I tell someone?" I answered firmly, "Then you will break your contract. That means immediate termination. You will be fired right away. You will get no severance pay and no references." Then I walked to my office door and opened it. "Do we understand each other?" I asked. He didn't answer. He simply walked out of the room. 4 days later, my phone rang. It was Isolde. "Selara," she said nervously. "Things are not going very well right now." "What do you mean?" I asked. "Caius is having problems at work," she explained. "And his dad too. Caius didn't get the promotion he was hoping for. His dad is on probation at work. They are both worried about money, especially with the wedding coming soon." She stopped talking for a moment, then asked slowly, "Selara, where do you actually work?" "At a coffee shop," I said. "Why are you asking?" "Which coffee shop?" she asked. "Chen's Coffee," I replied. "It's a small chain." There was another pause. "Why?" I asked. Isolde sounded confused. "Caius's dad works at a company called Vera Technologies. The CEO of that company is named Selara Vera. That's a strange coincidence, right?" I answered calmly. "It's a common name." But then her voice suddenly became serious. "Selara, are you the CEO of Vera Technologies?" I stayed silent. Then she gasped loudly. "Oh my God! You are! You're Caius's boss, and his dad's boss too." She started breathing very quickly. "You're ruining their careers because of the engagement party," she said angrily. "Because I didn't invite you." "Isolde," I said calmly, "how could you think that?" "You're being petty and mean," she shouted. "These are real people's lives." "Are you finished?" I asked. "No," she cried. "You're punishing Caius because I hurt your feelings." "I am not punishing anyone," I said. "Darian Alder is on a PP because his work performance needs to improve. Caius didn't get the promotion because he hasn't earned it yet. These decisions have nothing to do with you." "I don't believe you," she said. "That's your choice," I replied quietly. Then I asked her something. "When were you planning to tell me that you knew I was the CEO of a large company?" There was complete silence on the phone. "Never," I said softly. She didn't answer. "You had already decided who I was," I continued. "The sister who dropped out of school. The embarrassment of the family. The sister who wasn't impressive enough to meet Caius's successful father." I gave a small, bitter laugh. "That successful father works for me." Isolde sounded shocked. "You let us believe you were nobody," she said. "I never lied," I replied. "I told you I work at a coffee shop. That is true. I own 5 coffee shops. You just never asked if there was anything more." "Why didn't you tell us the truth?" she asked. "Why should I?" I said. "So you would like me because of my money? So Dad would finally feel proud of me." I started walking slowly across my office floor. "I built Vera Technologies from nothing," Isolde. "While you were studying law in school, I was writing computer code in a small garage. While you were winning awards in law school, I was meeting investors and asking them to believe in my idea. While you celebrated your first job, I was hiring my 100th employee." She sounded confused. "Then why hide it?" "Because I wanted to know something important," I said quietly. "I wanted to know if my own family could love me without success, without money, without a fancy title. Just love me as Selara." My voice became softer. "But you couldn't. You couldn't even invite me to your engagement party." "That's not fair," she said weakly. "You were embarrassed by me," I replied. "You thought I would make you look bad in front of Caius's successful father." She started crying. "I'm sorry," she said. "I'm really sorry." I asked gently, "Are you sorry because you hurt me? Or because now you know the truth?" She sniffed. "Both, I think. I don't know." Then she said quietly, "Caius is talking about canceling the wedding if his dad loses his job. Then Caius needs to think about his priorities," I said. "Listen carefully. What happens with Darian's job is between him and the HR department. What happens with Caius's career depends on his own performance. I am not making those decisions anymore." "Really?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "I stepped away from those decisions and gave them to other executives." "So this isn't revenge?" she asked. "No," I said. "This is simply reality." "But you could help them," she said. "Yes, I could," I replied. "But I won't. That would be unfair favoritism, and I don't allow that in my company." I spoke more gently. "If Caius is good at his job, he will be fine. If Darian improves his performance, he will be fine. But I will not break my company's rules just to fix your wedding problems." "So you're just letting them fail?" she asked. "No," I said. "I'm letting them succeed or fail based on their own work. Just like I did." There was a long silence. Finally, she spoke again. Mom and Dad should know the truth about your company. Should they? I asked. Yes, she said softly. We have treated you terribly. We believed you were a failure, but you're actually amazing. You're more successful than all of us. Success is not only about money, I said. I know, she replied. But do you really know? I asked. A month ago you judged people by job titles and salaries. By who was impressive enough to meet Caius's family. Now that you know I have money, suddenly I deserve respect. I shook my head slowly. That's not real respect. That's just worshipping money. She asked quietly. What do you want from me? I wanted you to love me when you thought I was nobody, I said. But that moment has already passed. So what happens now? She asked. Are you cutting me out of your life? I don't know yet, I said honestly. I need time to think about what kind of relationship I want with people who were embarrassed to invite me to their party. Selara, please, she said. I have to go, I replied. Congratulations on your engagement. I hope you'll be happy. Then I ended the call. 2 weeks later, I received 3 emails. The first email was from Darian Alder. He had decided to resign from his job. Instead of completing his PP, he chose to look for opportunities somewhere else. It was a professional and careful decision. The second email was from Caius Alder. He also resigned and decided to follow his father to another company. That decision was probably less wise. The third email came from my mother. The subject line said, "We need to talk." She wrote that Isolde had told them everything. She said she and Dad were heartbroken about how they had treated me. They realized they had made terrible assumptions about my life. She wrote that they knew they might not deserve forgiveness, but they hoped I would give them a chance to know the real me. She also told me that Isolde had postponed her engagement party because she didn't feel right celebrating right now. Caius and his father had both left their jobs. At the end of the email she wrote, "Please call us or don't. Whatever you need. Love, Mom." I read the email 3 times. Part of me felt the old pull of family, the desire to forgive. But then I closed the email and went back to my work. Because forgiveness without real change means nothing. Just then my assistant knocked on my office door. "Miss Vera," she said, the mayor's office called. "They want to feature you in their Women in Technology program." "Send me the details," I said. She nodded. "Also, your 3 o'clock meeting is here. The college student who wants to pitch her app idea." I smiled. "Send her in." A young woman walked into my office. She looked both excited and nervous. She reminded me of myself 9 years ago. "Miss Vera," she said, "thank you for meeting with me." "Please sit down," I said kindly. "And call me Selara Vera. Now tell me about your idea." She began explaining. She spoke nervously about an app that would connect food banks with restaurants so extra food could be given to people who needed it. It was a simple idea, but it could help many people. I listened carefully and asked questions. Finally, I said, "Your idea is good, but your business plan needs work. Your technical design has problems, and your funding request is not balanced." Her face looked disappointed, but I smiled. "However," I continued, "you have something more important than a perfect plan." She looked surprised. "You have passion," I said. "You see a problem in the world and you want to fix it." I gave her my card. "I'm connecting you with one of my product managers. She will help you improve your idea. After that, you can pitch it again to our investment team." Her eyes lit up. "Really?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "But remember, I'm not doing you a favor. I'm making an investment in you. Don't make me regret it." "I won't," she said happily. After she left, I stood by my window and looked out over the city. My phone buzzed with a new message from Isolde. "I love you. I'm sorry. Please don't give up on me." I stared at the message for a long time. Then I typed back, "I love you too. But love is not enough. Call me when you truly understand why." Then I returned to my work, building new things and helping people create better futures.